Alright guys, today we're here to do a really exciting video on a product that I actually have never heard about until I was reached out to by the company to say, hey, you have a lot of board games behind you, you have a board game table, are you interested in something like this? And the company I'm talking about here is UberStax. And I've never heard of these before, and I was surprised that these never hit my radar because I would have definitely gotten these had I seen them beforehand, because these have been out for a little while already. They have a new product as well that we're going to get into as well. But these are really awesome. They're basically universal game piece holders for your table. And you can see they come in a variety of colors here. You know, we got blue here, we got gray ones, we got red, purple, you know, we got brown, white, green, black, and orange and yellow. So we got a bunch of different ones here. And what these basically are, you know, I have a board game table here in front of me, obviously. And this is a new board game table that I did a review on. And you can see that here in front of me, there is little areas for each individual player to put their pieces. But what I always wanted on this table, and I understand why they used to apparently have it on the early prototype table on this table. But one of the things I wish it had that some of the other tables do have is there usually is, in front of these little areas where you put your things, there's usually a little slit, like a little area where you basically put your cards. Where you can actually, like, so you have your pieces here, and your cards are right in front of it, and you kind of have your little area here for each person. But here, there's no slit here, and the reasoning behind why they didn't do it on this table is they said that it was always getting dirty inside that little slit, and it was impossible to clean, so they went away from it after using it in a prototype, and that's why it's not on the finished product that, you know, consumers got. But I still wish it was there anyway. I'd figure out how to clean it, but besides the point. Now, these things basically promise the exact same idea. These are universal game holders, or game holder pieces that you can use for any of the games that you have for either, you know, pieces or cards and stuff like that. And you can, what's cool about these is you can actually build them in different ways. So there's 3 different configurations on how you can build these, which is really cool, which we're going to obviously show off here in a minute. And this is fantastic. And then on top of that, they have a new product as well, as you're seeing here, and these are called UberStax. Stackable things that you can have here to put your little pieces in. So kind of a similar idea to this. If you didn't have this on your table, you can have these little holders here. And again, these also attach in different ways, and they also even attach with these as well, which we're definitely going to talk about. So there's a lot of cool ways that you can actually make this work for all your board games, and I want to show you guys a couple of board games, you know, being used with these and how you can configure this. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so as you can see, they actually even gave me these little holders here, so you can kind of put these in when you're not using them. You can see here they gave me 3 of these, so you can buy these as well, which is really cool. But let's go ahead and set up all of these. So these are all the same thing, all in different colors. Here is the bag up close, the universal game piece holders. You can see on the back here that there is 3 formations on how you can actually set these up. So you can see there's a 2-piece configuration, a 3-piece configuration, and a 6-piece configuration. So we're going to set up all 3 here so you guys can get an idea of how this can be used with your games and how it would actually work. So each one of these packets, as you can see, comes with these 6 pieces here, all the same size like this. So let's do the 2-piece configuration first. So for the 2-piece configuration, you basically just take the bottom portion that looks like this. You take the top portion that goes like this, and you basically just snap them together just like this. And that's it. There's your 2-piece configuration there. So that's it. There's your 2-piece card holder configuration. Now, for the 3-piece configuration, you basically can take 2 more and kind of put them together. So you can go ahead and do one of these here. So you can take 2 of these, put them together, and then obviously you need something to hold it or else it's going to fall. So you take one of the other pieces and you kind of just put this in the middle just like this. So it kind of balances out. And then here's your other configuration. So now you have basically a longer version of this to put even more cards on there, and it stays just like that on the table. Now the other configuration you can do as well, and I'm going to use a different color for this one. I'll take the green one out here, just so we can show off how this would actually work. So here we have the green pieces now. So now you can do the 6-piece configuration here. So basically the 6-piece would look something like this. So you would take the first piece here, and then you would take the bottom piece and you kind of attach it to the top, just like this. And then you have something that looks like this. So once you have those 2 pieces set up, you take another set, you do the exact same thing.
set them up just like this. And then you take these and you kind of attach them together. So it kind of looks like this when you're done with all four. And then of course you need the bottom base. So you got 4 pieces here. And then now you need a bottom base. So what you do is you take one of the other pieces here and you attach the bottom just like this. And then since this isn't going to hold because this thing is bigger, so if you put this here, it's going to fall backwards here. So why you need the 6th piece is you actually go back here to the back and you actually attach the next piece down like this to the back holes there. That way it kind of balances out the back like that. And then now when you set it down, you kind of have it just laying just like that. So it even gives you more rows right in front of you. So like I said, you can have a configuration like this where it uses all 6 pieces. So that's pretty cool right there. You can have one that uses a 3-piece set like this. You could have everybody just have a 2-piece set like this. Or you could even, start combining these and make an even longer one. Because obviously these are the 3 main configurations. But you could obviously connect more of these together to make an even longer card holder as well if you want to. Just to show you guys some more examples of some of the other ones you could build. So even though you have 6 pieces here and the 3-piece and the 2-piece, which we just showed you, there's even a 7-piece configuration like this where you can actually use 7 pieces and kind of make a ultra long one like this. Or you could do a 5-piece one that kind of has the 2 balancing boards at the bottom and all 3 of them kind of go up, so you can have 3 cards going up like that. So a lot of different configurations. These are the main 3 that I'm showing you here, but there is the other ideas. There's many different ways to configure this. These are just the main 2-piece, 3-piece, 6-piece, and then if you want to get crazy, there's the other ideas that they show you at the bottom with the 5 or the 7 pieces. But obviously you can go crazy with this because you can put 2 of these together. You can do this to the side. You can do whatever you want with your own crazy ideas on how you want to attach them. But these are the main configuration ideas that they talk about in their guide. Now the trays as well here are really interesting. Let's put these to the side here for a second and move them up. The trays are really interesting as well. Like I said, you can use these as individual trays if you want. It has a little slit there in the middle, and then everyone can put their coins and stuff there on the side. But you could obviously attach these together right there on the side, and then you kind of have 2 trays right there, right next to each other, just like that, if you want to do it that way. And then those are set up on the table. That's one configuration that you could do it in, just connecting the sides together. You could also connect it like this, but then also connect one to the back as well. So you can basically just take this and attach them to the back like that. And now you have a tray system that kind of looks like this. And they kind of attach just like that. And then you can have 3 trays that go like that. You can obviously, take these out, kind of connect them back to back if you want. So you can do a tray system that kind of looks like this. And just connect them back to back just like that if you want. And what's most important and what's really cool is that you can actually add these trays to one of these configurations here. So what you could do as well is, for example, let's say you had the single one here. You could take this single piece here and kind of do one of these and kind of just attach it to the side. That way, if this is every player's hand, you basically, if every player was getting their own tokens, because obviously there's some games out there that every player will get their own tokens, they could put their tokens here and then their cards over here, and they have their own little setup. You could also even put it on the top of this. So as a single piece here, you can just take, for example, the blue one and kind of attach it to the top, just like that. And now you can put like one of your cards, if everyone just has a single character card for a game and some tokens, then everyone gets one of these and it kind of looks like that. Or you can also attach this like this, and you can attach it to the front of this piece here. And then now you have, of course, the cards in the back and then your pieces in the front. Now you have more room. So there's a lot of different variations on how you can configure this. And I'm only giving you the basic ones that are sitting, from the manual and stuff, as you can see here. There's some configurations. So we did the back to back there that you can do. We did the side to side. We did side to side like that. We did the top to bottom that I showed you there, and then the back side here, as you can see there. But those are just the ones that they give you. You can go crazy, and obviously if these are attached here like this, you could technically put another one of these right on top, and now you have even more cards. You can put one on each side, so you can configure this any way you want. There's a lot of variability on how you can configure this, so I'm just showing you some of the basic ones, that they show off in doing this. So these are really, really cool. Let me show you, how some of the games would look like in here if you were to do something like this. So here we are with Marvel Champions, for example, a really popular game that we all love, us Marvel fans and stuff. Here you can kind of put your pieces over here, for example, that each player would have, and then maybe over here you put your character cards, like Spider-Woman here, for example. I could put her right here, start putting some of my cards out just kind of like that. And you can kind of have your hand of cards kind of spread out, and you can kind of just look at them like that, which is really cool if you want. Or if you want them more spread out, you can use a setup like this. Kind of have the cards, completely separated just like that, if you want to do it that way. And then, of course, you can also even use like a singular one for the villain. You could have maybe the whole entire villain stack over there and kind of have it so, the card stack just kind of sits right there, and it kind of sits just like that. And then the villain deck can be kind of sitting right there. Any way you want to do it. There's a lot of configuration options here that you can do, of course, with these cards. And just so you guys know, the thickness of where you can actually put cards. So there's 19 cards in here on the villain deck without being sleeved. That's probably about the limit. Maybe one more can go in there. So about 20 if you want to do that. Unsleeved, and about 10. Obviously, it all depends on the game, but standard cards about 10 sleeved and about 20 unsleeved is what I would say would fits here without any issues, as you can see there. And let's not forget, too, that these things don't even have to just be used for cards. I just think that's the majority of the reason that I'm going to use them for. But you can use these for a lot of other games that, we're not even thinking about right now. Like here's Queen Domino and stuff. You can obviously, stick these here if you have your hand of cards and you're kind of just looking at them and you want to see what they are in front of you. Those fit there as well. You can even put regular dominoes on here if you want to. Like, for example, my family plays a lot of dominoes. You can kind of... They go a little bit outside, but they're not going to fall as long as you're just looking at them like this. They kind of just sit there, and you kind of just put them there like this. You kind of have all your pieces kind of out for dominoes just like that while you're playing dominoes, and kind of have this form right here for everyone. And that would work really well for dominoes. Or, of course, you can, like I said before, make a really long piece that kind of just keeps going and give everyone a really long piece and just kind of do it the long way as well. And you can see how many dominoes you can get to actually fit on one. So you got 8 pieces sitting on there. But, of course, like I said, you could add another one, make this a little longer. But on the standard 3-piece setup, you can see that it fits 8 dominoes on there like that. And like I said, it is pretty stable. It's not like it's going to move, like even moving it like that. It's not like it's ready to fall off. So it fits on there pretty well. You can see the side right there. So it works really well for a domino holder as well, for people who use like dominoes and stuff. So these are really cool and have a lot of use cases for them. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video on UberStax here with these 2 products that they have. These are fantastic. I can't believe I've never heard of these before until recently when I was reached out to them. I'm going to be using this on my table literally from here on out. Like, this is going to be something that I use for any game that has to do with cards and stuff like that. Of course, if it's not card related and it's just pieces, just for me particularly, I already have an area where people can put their pieces in front of them. If a game doesn't use any cards at all, I probably won't use these for me because I have a table that does it already, but most people aren't going to have a table like this, so these are going to be fantastic for both use cases. But for my use cases, if a game has cards, which obviously a lot of games use cards out there, every single player is going to have one of their own color. They can customize it wherever they want and kind of put their cards in front of them, and that's going to be fantastic to kind of show off their cards, whether they want to put the cards on the table here or whether they want to put the cards here to stay away from people, whichever way they want to do it. It's fantastic. And then I'll also have these trays here as well, Uber trays, and basically these will be fantastic for me to be able to kind of stack them in a way where I can either have, take these out and kind of have everyone have a tray in their corner for the time being, and everybody has their tray with, like, say, money in that corner, money in this corner, money in that corner, to kind of, so everyone doesn't have to reach across the table every time they need a specific token. We can kind of separate the tokens, or if we're playing a 4-player game, since I have 4 of these, maybe everyone gets their own tray, and then you can do it that way, depending on what game you're playing. So these are fantastic, and these are things that I think both of these things should be basically in everybody's, home if they play a lot of board games like I do and they have a board game table, because these have so many different use cases, and I think these are fantastic. And I think a lot of people are going to like these, like these to be able to use with their games, and they're
relatively cheap to get, so it's not something crazy, and they really add a lot of cool value to every game that you play. So if you guys have any questions about what you guys saw in today's video, guys, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.